During the 2023 electioneering, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, had promised Nigerians that he will increase agriculture production and guarantee food security in the country if elected into office. And on May 29, Tinubu was sworn in as president of Nigeria with a promise to meet the citizens' food needs hanging in his neck and staring him boldly in the face. 1 year on, the seat of power, how far has the promise on agriculture production expansion and food sufficiency for the citizens been met? This report by AIT's Ngozi Onyejaku takes a look at Nigeria's food availability, affordability, and access in the first year of President Tinubu's administration.
For the past few years, Nigeria's food prices have continued to be on the rise amidst citizens' poor purchasing power. The situation has become more complicated with climate change and worsening violent conflicts in farming communities across most parts of Nigeria, fueling food insecurity. Despite these growing challenges, farmers have continued to struggle against all odds to till their lands, cultivate food crops, even in the face of visible and predictable dangers. The incessant attacks by herders and bandits on farmers and the destruction of both their farmland, produce, loss of livestock, and killing of peasant farmers have added to the adverse and acute food shortages being experienced. Low agriculture productions and food supply shortfalls in successive years have deepened, attaining an all-time low in the 2023-2024 farming cycle. The results are glaring. Current escalating food prices made worse by government economic policies such as petrol subsidy removal and the Naira exchange rate, which expectedly have negative reactions on the Nigerian agro-production chain.
Now, a liter of fuel is 190 something before, but now a liter of fuel is 600 and almost 700. It's not funny.
In the Tinubu regime, Gary one mood 1,500 naira. Number two, paper of 500 naira cannot cook a pot of soup any longer.
The president, who seemed overwhelmed by the country's unabating food shortage crisis and the inability of emergency social interventions to address it, Tinubu in July 2023 declared a state of emergency on food security, a move to demonstrate his administration's seriousness about local production of agricultural produce. One of the priority agendas for achieving food sufficiency and affordability programs is the planned cultivation of 500,000 hectares of farmlands across the country to produce maize, rice, wheat, and other crops. Acting on that mandate, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security imported 6,750 metric tons of hybrid wheat seeds for dry season farming. Yet, the question remains whether these policies and interventions have brought down the galloping food prices and reduced hunger in the homes.
For this country, for 1 year in office, we one basket of tomato, now 40,000. When we say they go can tomato for you, 5 for 500, for 600.
Supporters of the government argued that there is no doubt that the Tinubu's administration means well for Nigeria and Nigerians, as demonstrated through the dishing out of different agricultural policies and projects to tackle high food inflation, climate change, and other challenges of food security.
The following measures were undertaken to boost production. We distributed 60,432 metric tons of improved seeds, 887,255 metric tons of seedlings, 138 numbers of value kits, 501,726 liters of agrochemicals, 62,328 metric tons of inorganic fertilizers, 1,000 kilograms of fungicide, and 33,200 numbers of different equipments to farmers across different value chains to enhance production.
However, critics are skeptical about the seriousness of the President Tinubu's administration towards addressing the profound economic challenges currently facing the nation, especially in the area of food affordability.
The problem is that they have good policy, but they are not intentional about it. So if you are not intentional about agribusiness, then you can never make agribusiness become productive.
Food is not there. Prices of the available ones are rising. And therefore, there is seriously a need for him to actually make sure that that policy shift is put in place with respect to agriculture.
The expectation of Nigerians are that whichever direction the government is headed in finding a way out of the economic downturn in the country, immediate and urgent action should be taken to push down prices of staple food items and basic household needs, which should translate to tangible reductions in poverty, hunger, disease and crimes in the society. Ngozi Onyejiaku, AIT News, Abuja.